Howdy everyone, I'm Ian from FTC 6220 Centripetal, and I'm going to be talking about business cards. Before we get into how to go about making them, I want to start with why you should. A good bit less than half the teams we've met have had business cards, and this means they're missing out on some great opportunities. The two major reasons to have team business cards are to facilitate networking and to facilitate outreach. A business card helps with your networking because it smooths over the transfer of contact information and leaves you more time to be communicating and building rapport rather than losing the chance or creating an awkward memory of the silence while you jot the info down. Although I do recommend leaving blank space on the card so that you can jot notes of more personal nature based off whatever conversation you have. Business cards help with outreach for the similar reasons of smoothing interactions, but also because of their flexibility and professionalism. It's easy to always carry some business cards with you, and any conversation with a stranger that turns to first can now be followed up with contact info, leaving an impact on them that will hopefully lead to a follow-up and involvement with the program. The professionalism also plays into this by creating a favorable impression and shows any businesses or organizations you try to work with that you've put serious consideration and effort into making sure that you can interact in a mature and professional way. Ultimately, business cards won't always open doors, but they at the very least help make sure that they don't close behind you on your way out. Alrighty, now that the why of the business cards is established, let's move on to the what. A business card consists of three major pieces: the who and what, the message, and the call to action. The who and what is fairly straightforward. How are you identified, and what do you do? For first, this will likely be your team name and number. Prioritize whichever your team tends to go by, which in our case is our number, but include both since different people will remember different pieces. The what is something that often gets forgotten, since it's not often relevant in the context that we think of the business cards in. Other robotics teams know that we do FIRST Robotics, but other teams aren't our only audience. Make sure to include Robotics team on the card, probably even FIRST or FTC Robotics team, so that people outside of FIRST can remember what you do when they clean out their desk 6 months later and want to actually check it out. The message is your brand, or the feel and idea that you want to convey to the reader. It's important, but not technically crucial. You can have a business card that doesn't hit the person over the head with the message. This can take the form of a theme or a design that conveys an aspect of what makes you unique, such as an Earth theme if you have a lot of outreach along those lines, or maybe some logos associated with your parent organization. However, a little bluntness with your message is good, and I'd recommend incorporating your team logo if you have one, and have a motto or phrase that's associated with you, or that you want to associate with your team. The call to action is almost as straightforward as the who and what. It's what you're trying to get the recipient to do. This will usually take the form of contact information, asking them to reach out to you, but can also include other important actions, like a link to the volunteer section of the FIRST website or a donations page for your club. Ultimately, include whatever you want them to look at, and I'd recommend keeping that mostly to an email or phone number, a team website, and any social media. Other actions can be good, but might be off-putting to some people, if, say, you're asking for a donation. So be conscientious when adding other calls to action. Now that we have a rough idea of the content, it's time to start drafting your ideas. At this point, you should either rough things out with front and back sketches for several ideas, or do the same roughing of ideas in your photo editor. I'm going to be using Pixlr since it's free and relatively powerful, and I'm comfortable with it. However, for reasons I'll get into in just a little bit, I'd recommend using a more powerful program like GIMP or Photoshop. I'm only using Pixlr because it's the tool I have access to and know how to use. The first thing to do before actually making the design is to figure out what size you'll be printing on, and make the file to reflect that. I'll talk about printing options a bit later, but I'll work with staple specifications for now. I'm going to be using a 1 2/3 to 1 ratio of the width to the height, because they use a 3 3/4 inch by 2 1/4 inch size at Staples, and then they have a 1/4 inch bleed. Bleed is important to consider because it's a zone that gets cut off. Printing to the edges of paper is messy and time intensive, so processes for printing things like business cards will print oversized, then cut off the edges, aka the bleed, which leaves us a much cleaner edge. As such, you should leave this space and a little margin empty, or use a graphic design that doesn't get messed up if it gets trimmed. An example, Staples recommends all designs that shouldn't risk being cut off being within 3 1/4 inch by 1 3/4 inches, with a background that can risk being cut extending all the way to the edges. Now that your file size is made, and you know where to factor in for bleed, start actually making one of your designs in the software. If you have any sections, I'd start by blocking those out with whatever borders you plan to use, then add the text and designs. I'll show the sped up process now. While this is going, I want to talk about the two major reasons why I'd recommend a photo editor other than Pixlr. The first is color, since most printing services actually print in CMYK, while Pixlr can only handle RGB colors. This means that the color you see in the editor might be different than how it will actually print, so beware if your design is hypersensitive to the color palette. As a side note, I highly recommend establishing the specific color values your team uses, primary, secondary, and however many more you need, in both RGB and CMYK, so as to maintain consistency across projects. The second reason I'd use another program is the export quality. Pixlr can only export in 72 dpi, dots per inch, while a high quality file should be at 300 dpi. This isn't a huge deal for our scale, it just comes out a bit fuzzier, but not too noticeably. You'll notice the blank section at the bottom. This is where I've got the design space for our contact information. I want to take a moment to talk about social media icons. They're a great thing to use to categorize the information and look snappy doing it, but keep in mind that these logos have brand guidelines that you need to adhere to if borrowing them. I've put links in the description for the brand guidelines and image downloads for Facebook and Twitter, which are the two main sites that 6220 uses. That'll be the design. Now on to the printing. Unfortunately, just printing your design on standard paper isn't going to give you the result you're looking for. There are some kits that you can purchase to print onto some cardstock that pops out using your own printer, but that will cost you a little over $20 for 500 on Amazon, not including shipping, and you have to do the work yourself. There are several options for professional printers, but we found Staples to be the cheapest option for us, at $20 for 500 cards, printed on both front and back. You can then have them shipped for at least $5, or you can pick them up in-store the next day for free, but they sometimes even finish the same day if they aren't busy. This happened for us personally. You just go to their site, go to standard business cards, and upload your design, checking it front and back, making sure all your text is in the 1 3/4 by 3 1/4 inch safe area, and that your design extends all the way to the edges if you want to avoid white space. Proceed as a guest, choose your shipping options, and make the purchase. Now you just wait and enjoy your sweet new business cards that will make your outreach and networking lives so much easier. Just for a more tangible idea, here's the business cards that we made using this method. We designed in RGB and exported in 72 dpi, and they came out a bit darker and fuzzier than expected, but there's a simple fix and it's not too glaring. For a more professional example, here's Mr. Peters' card, the CEO of Getty Images. You'll see similar elements to what we described, albeit arranged much more nicely and printed at a higher quality. Also note the really slick call to action with the number placed on the image, which seems to be the catalog number, so anyone who thinks the card's image is something that they want to use can easily find it online from Getty Images. We want to say a quick thank you to Mr. Peters and Getty Images for sending the business card, which we'll be posting on our Twitter along with cards from other groups and people that we've reached out to. We hope that seeing all these wonderful designs from some awesome people will inspire your team when making your cards. Good luck out there, and make it loud.